Ever wondered about Nikola Tesla's most mysterious idea? Not wireless power, not the death ray, but something he called radiant electricity. It's a concept that has sparked countless debates, inspired inventors, and fueled a century of myths. Today, we're going to demystify it. What was Tesla really talking about? What does modern science say? And why is it still so captivating? Let's dive in. First off, when Tesla said radiant electricity, he wasn't talking about sunshine or the radio waves we use for Wi-Fi. He was describing something much stranger, something he observed during his high-voltage experiments. Imagine this: Tesla, in his lab, creating incredibly powerful, split-second electrical pulses from his coils. He noticed these bursts of energy could do bizarre things. They could charge objects from a distance with no wires. They created visible light and even a weird sensation of pressure, like an electric wind. He saw metals glow without getting hot, and light bulbs illuminate in ways they shouldn't. Tesla was convinced this wasn't ordinary electricity. He believed he had discovered a new kind of energy, one that traveled in longitudinal waves, like a shock wave, not in the transverse waves described by the physics of his time. He called them non-Hertzian waves and proposed they were bursts of electrified ether, moving at incredible speeds. He built special devices to generate these effects, typically using a high-voltage capacitor, a spark gap to create a sudden discharge, and a coil. When the switch flipped, an explosive electrostatic impulse would shoot out, a nanosecond burst of pure potential. Tesla believed these impulses could actually tap into the energy of the surrounding environment, what he called the ambient medium. So, was Tesla onto some hidden law of physics? Well, let's translate this into modern scientific terms. What Tesla called radiant electricity, we would now describe as a high-voltage, short-pulse electrostatic wave. That electric wind he felt, that's ionized air being pushed by the powerful electric field, a phenomenon called electrohydrodynamics, and the ether he often referred to. Today, we understand that as the electric field itself, existing in the vacuum of space essentially. Tesla wasn't breaking the laws of physics. He was pushing them to their absolute extreme. He was working with pulse DC and transient fields, which behave very differently from the smooth, alternating current we're used to. The strange effects he saw were real, but they were extreme demonstrations of known electromagnetic principles, not a new form of energy. But don't think this diminishes his work. While no one has built a free energy machine based on these ideas, Tesla's research on radiant energy was foundational for so much modern technology. His experiments directly led to the principles behind wireless power transmission. Think about it. His Wardenclyffe Tower was a massive radiant energy transmitter. This work also paved the way for radio, microwave technology, and even futuristic concepts like electrostatic propulsion. The high-voltage impulse generators we use today, like Mark's generators, are direct descendants of his setups. Even fields like cold plasma research, used for sterilization, and pulse power medicine, which uses tiny electrical fields to interact with cells, owe a debt to Tesla's pioneering explorations. If you want to look at the source, check out his U.S. patent 685,957, titled Apparatus for the Utilization of Radiant Energy. In it, he describes a device with an elevated metal plate acting as an antenna to collect energy from the environment. This energy is stored in a capacitor and then discharged in pulses. Tesla genuinely believed he could harness energy directly from the atmosphere, what we might now call electrostatic induction. So, to sum it up, Tesla's radiant electricity wasn't a mythical source of free energy. It was his name for the powerful, lightning-fast electrostatic discharges he mastered. The cold light was high-voltage, low-current illumination. The electric wind was ionized air in motion, and the energy from the ambient medium was likely the energy stored and induced within his powerful electric fields. He wasn't a magician, but an experimental genius who saw the potential in phenomena that others overlooked. His work wasn't myth, It was the bleeding edge of science, and its echoes are still shaping our world today. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating scientific minds. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit the like and subscribe for more.